Coast to coast, right around Australia. Welcome to Chris Conroy's World of Boats.
Hi, welcome aboard. Ever since boats started going fast, in other words, faster than around about 10 knots, designers have had an extra problem, apart from the normal ones of strength and seaworthiness and comfort and appearance. They've had another problem to contend with, and that is rough ride, because no matter where you go, you're going to strike either a chop or a swell, which is going to make the boat move up and down. Now, that holds true for any boat that goes fast, and we've seen quite a lot of approaches to the solution of this problem over the years, notably Ray Hunt with his deep V, so that the boats didn't pound on the waves and rode relatively softly. But everybody has got a different way of looking at things, and Pat Jones of the Sunshine Coast has come up with an idea which has an enormous amount of merit. Now, it's called an ultrafoil. There it is there, and it's designed to be a fully submerged foil and to control the bow of the boat as she comes over a wave. Now, we're going to put her in the water, and I'll show you how she looks. Because the foil is mounted on a vertical slide which goes down through the equivalent of a centreboard case on a yacht, down through the bottom of the hull there, it's relatively heavy. Now, if you try and drop it down with the boat stationary, it's a little difficult to do, and you're likely to jam your fingers. So what you do is just move the boat along, and Pat will show us now. Move the boat along, that generates a degree of lift underneath the foil and makes it that much easier to lower the foil down. Now, as you can see, it goes down quite a considerable distance, in fact up to around about 1.3 metres or around about 4 feet. The distance below the boat is governed by sea conditions and, of course, by the load conditions on the boat itself. So it's something that you learn by experience, but it's a relatively easy exercise to lower it down. See, there's enough lift generated underneath the foil now for it to be very, very easy to just lower right down to the second last notch. Now, obviously, of course, you'd have to be very careful as far as the draft of the boat is concerned. You certainly wouldn't want to touch that on the bottom and bend the strut that holds it, making it almost impossible to get it back out of the case.
Up until now, boat designers have concentrated on trying to handle what you can see. In other words, the waves are on the surface of the water, and that's what the boat designers have endeavoured to negate with their deep Vs and their cathedrals, etc. But Pat Jones went a little further than that. He reasoned that the waves don't go very deep, and if he could have a force acting on the boat which originated well below the surface of the water, the effect of the waves would be minimised. Now, it works astonishingly well, as you can see there. This is a barge. She's 22 feet long, or 7.2 metres. She has a beam of 8 feet, or 2.4 metres. She's fairly lightly built out of alloy, although she could certainly do with being a lot heavier, not so much from construction, but from overall hull weight. She has two 60 horsepower Mariners with which she does about 30 knots. Now, none of that is terribly remarkable, but the fact that she's a barge going fast offshore and yet is refusing under any circumstances to pound and has an extremely easy motion, you can see the easy way in which that bow is moving up and down, certainly points up the fact that Pat Jones's submerged ultrafoil definitely works. Now, the foil is mounted on a solid aluminium strut with an extremely well-built plate case inside the boat, so there's little or no chance of it suffering any damage. It occasionally surfaces, but that's mainly because the boat is very lightly loaded, but it's designed to ride, as you can see there, well under the surface of the water. I thought that the after ends of this barge would pound, but surprisingly they didn't. She was well up on top of the water because of the influence of the foil, and the 260 Mariner certainly moved her on along. Now, I found a mild degree of difficulty in driving her. You certainly have to get used to the fact that she's got a fair amount of side area up forward, which causes her to be a little unusual to steer, but after a bit of practice, I found that also was absolutely no problem. Now, Pat assures me that the more load you put on the boat, the better her ride characteristics are, and I believe him. We loaded her up with a couple of extra people during this shoot, and the advantage and the effect, the beneficial effect on the ride of the boat was quite measurable. And the other thing we did was lift the foil all the way up, and I opened the throttle, and I was only able to leave it open for probably 20 seconds because the boat threatened to pound our teeth out. So it really was a graphic demonstration of how excellently that foil works. It's not a speed boat. The foil is designed for use on what amounts to commercial boats. There she is all the way up on top of the foil, just riding on the props and the foil itself. But as I said, she's not designed to do that. She was very lightly loaded. She's the sort of boat that you could use for offshore fishing, particularly professional, light commercial game fishing. She'd be ideal for that. She's got a ton of room inside, and she has this astonishing ability to go fast in choppy water, and the choppier the better, and to carry an extremely heavy load with moderate horsepower while she does it. Now, if you're looking for a boat which has a tremendous amount of lateral stability both at rest and underway, is capable of carrying a heavy load fast in rough water and doing it economically with moderate horsepower, Pat Jones's Ultrafoil is the boat to do it.